What's for lunch?
Oh, okay. Wait, so I brought you something.
That's for me?
Yeah, salt and vinegar.
Are you serious?
Alright, I know what's up. Okay, and then,
Thank you.
hold on. This is so impressive to me. My lunch fits in this bag. What a flex. It's looking good. Kind of bento box coated, you know?
Give us the tour of the lunchbox.
What is this? These are like little chicken wraps. Looking real good. I got some trail mix. Loki, I just eat the yogurt like bites.
Really?
Yeah, like almonds aren't my thing.
Do you give them to someone else or you just throw them
No,
out?
I eat them, but I just eat a lot less. And then I got my salami and crackers and cheese.
Let me see the salami, let me see.
Hold on. Can you tell it's from a packet? They look so perfect right now.
I thought you cut them.
No.
They look perfectly
I'm
sliced.
doing the bare minimum in terms of preparation.
Food review, let's go.
You gotta stack it and then you snack it. You know what I mean?
Bars.
Ah.
Bars.
Gas. Yeah. Don't mind me as well. I brought
Extra shoes. No, you gotta get comfortable. You gotta get comfortable.
Exactly. You know what's up. I do have to expose that these are fake. They're just leg warmers.
No.
I know, they're not socks.
I mean, to be fair, like it's winter time, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
We gotta stay comfortable, you know?
Okay, are we ready to commence? Sick.
Yes.
Okay, what are you listening to right now?
I'm listening to a lot of her. So she has an album from 2019 called like I used to be her, I think. Yeah, I've just been playing it on repeat. And there's also another artist, Emma Hana. She's a little bit more niche, but she's got like a banger album called Evening Star. And I just play those albums on repeat. Like, I've just been obsessing over them for a bit.
What instrument are you?
A clarinet.
Favorite album?
Of all time? Sometimes I might be Introvert by Little Sims.
Something you'll never leave home without?
My headphones.
What's your green flag?
My green flag? I don't judge any music taste. Let me know what you're listening to, podcast you're on. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
What is your red flag?
My red flag. Zoning out. I'm big on that, yeah.
What is your beige flag?
I don't know what would be considered a beige flag. I think
It's like a funny little ism. I mean,
It's like a pet
It doesn't hurt
peeve.
anyone, but yeah, it's like a pet peeve kind of, but it doesn't hurt anyone.
honestly, for a lot of people, this can come across as a red flag, but it's like, I am perpetually 5 minutes late, but I think people know that about me. So they tell me a specific time, like a little bit earlier than they actually want, because they know I'll show up a little bit later. It's kind of like a mutual agreement I just have with people.
Celebrity crush?
Daisy Edgar Jones. Yeah.
6 or 7?
I hate you. 6. Like,
If you could make a collage of your biggest musical influences, who would be in that collage?
I think a lot of it is like I could just name a bunch of artists at the moment. Like Aurora, Madison Cunningham, Emma Hana, her, Little Sims, Olivia Dean. Like, I can just keep going. But I think like a collage that I don't really pay a lot of attention to, but is definitely there, is like the influences that my parents had on me with the music that they made me listen to when I was like growing up. And it's like in my head subliminally and kind of comes across in my music, I think. So there's like, I don't know, there's some Dire Straits, Jeff Buckley, The Police, Supertramp, The Beatles, like all that kind of stuff that I don't always listen to that much now, but I definitely was like on that when I was a kid.
I think that leads into the next question. How did that environment inspire not only your love of music, but the way you approach it?
My parents always encouraged music, which I'm so grateful for, because I know there are a lot of people that didn't grow up in that creative household. Like, we were sometimes compared to like the Von Trapp family, because we were all just we would sing like Christmas, we'd be there as like a family choir, and then they made sure we learnt an instrument at least when we were kids. I think my approach is just that like anything is possible, anything is up for grabs, like I can do whatever I want with the music I want. But I think the direction I took it, which I really like, is made it very personal and for myself, because I could have kept going and learning the instruments that I was playing and stuff like that, but I decided that I wanted to do songwriting and about my life and really truthful messaging, and that was like my interpretation of how I grew up.
Let's talk about your first song. Like, what was that? What's in your mind? What's that song that you remember fondly? Well, yeah, what was the first song you wrote?
I think it was interesting because there were lots of like little songs I'd written, but the first full song that I wrote, Tell a Lie, which I wrote when I was like maybe 15 or 16, and it felt like the fully finished song. And it resonated with me a lot because it was just how I was feeling in the moment, just made its way onto the page. And I think I've stuck with that all the way through my songwriting experience, is that it always comes from a place of truth. So I'm not someone who likes to make things up in my music. And then I like left it for a little bit, Tell a Lie, because I performed it once and I wasn't sure it was really that good or anything like that. And now I've like rediscovered it now that I'm like a couple of years older, and like I'll give credit to myself, like for 16, that's a pretty good song to have written, I reckon.
Can you talk a bit about how you deal with the stress and the busy schedule of a creative songwriter like yourself? I
think you just have to take those moments of creativity and just go with it. Like, I think every songwriter has like a universal experience of like, well, if I have an idea at 3 o'clock in the morning, I guess I'm writing it, and I'm not sleeping today, which is like, whatever. Yeah, I feel like, for me, I don't mind the being busy part. I get stressed about like having deadlines or having things I'm looking forward to, but there's no creativity going on. There's like a mind block. That always sits really weird with me, but I think it's literally just being able to, when the idea shows up, you just got to put it down somewhere, like whether it's like a voice memo or on a piece of paper or anything like that. And I think one step further from that is I want to start like taking those ideas, because I have so many written down or so many recorded, and actually like try and take it all the way to the finish, right from the moment that it's like visualized in my head, and just complete it to the very end. I'm getting better at that, but I think the main thing is just get it out there once you've thought of it. Yeah.
What's your process with from songwriting to arranging and to kind of getting to that point where you've got a full song on the stage? What's your process?
I don't know if other people do this, but I'm always melody first. So I'll have like a melody in my head and lyrics in my head as well, even if it's like a small thing. And then I'll voice memo that if I can't write it down, or I'll write it down if I'm able to. But that comes first, and then I have to sit down at a piano for a bit and like suss out what the chords would be and where the song goes and how it develops and stuff like that. Like, I can't play piano, but I know it enough that I can like play the bass notes of a chord and stuff like that. And then I pass it on to friends who also play instruments, who play guitar, give it to my brother Felix, who plays piano, and get their thoughts on it and fleshing out the idea. It's a lot of just like sitting down and talking about it with people and how they would interpret it and stuff like that. Like, I think from the initial idea, it's the very basics. But I think that's okay, because some people get a little bit nervous that they don't have all the instruments and all the ideas there in one bit, but like that can come later at the end. Yeah, so it kind of takes its time. But I always start with melody. That's my thing.
I think it's very interesting hearing the collaborative aspect. I'm curious about how songwriting and music has brought you to those creative vital people in your life right now?
Yeah, I think I was lucky enough that I had those people in my life as I started writing. So it wasn't like I discovered them along the way. But I think it was the kind of communication that I set up, which was that a lot of my friends and the people who also write, we have this mutual agreement where we send each other stuff, no matter how good it is or where it's at. It's like, send me lyrics, send me an idea. Voice memos, I get that a lot, of literally people just, they start recording, put the phone down, they've got a guitar or a piano, and they just start singing and send something there. And it's just that mutual agreement that I will take the time to listen to your stuff and really process it and see where it's going, because I know that I can send you stuff and get that same reaction. So I was really lucky to have those people in my life. And then it sort of developed further that, like, having the gigs in Canberra that I've been doing, you know, it starts with you invite your friends and then they invite their friends, and then you start opening for other people and different crowds come in and stuff like that. And so I always make a point of, after a gig, I go and talk to absolutely everyone, because there are so many people that you meet that have such cool ideas, and that have such good connections as well, that, like, it's so worth just knowing about their lives and their creative process too. And then you've got more people you can rely on.
I think you've touched on the gig circuit and your experience with it. I want to get a bit more into that. Talk to me about your experience with the industry and at least the gig infrastructure right now in Canberra.
I think even though we're like a small music scene, it can still feel very daunting in the beginning. So getting those opportunities to open for people, it was like, snap that up straight away, because that's the only way I can get my foot in the door. And so my thing was just making the most of those opportunities to open for people, and to try and prove in that space that if I'm able to open for you, I'm going to prove that I'm worth being your opener. And then that kind of branched out, that I felt like I had enough people that sort of knew my music or knew that I played gigs in Canberra, and then I could sort of do my own headline shows. And in doing that, I really like to return the favour and get people who let me open for them, now they're opening for me, and also seeking out up and coming artists who are also quite intimidated by the industry, quote unquote, and giving them an opportunity to open for me. Because, like, I knew how hard it was, or not how hard, but just how daunting it was to have that startup of trying to make your music known and actually get yourself into the music scene. So I really try and give that opportunity to other people who are starting up, who are not quite sure where to take their music. Because also credit to the people I've opened for, they've given me heaps of opportunities, and they've been great in terms of questions I've had about gigs or anything like that. Yeah, there's just a lot of care and support from other artists, and I think that's how I want to approach it as well. You should always care about the people that are doing music around you, and it should never be a competition. It's all just like, let's celebrate everyone's wins.
Let's talk about your goals, your future goals. I know you have a lot of ambitions. Where can you see yourself in the next few years, or what are some stages you want to hit? What are some goals we can see from Romilda in the future?
Well, I finally got the single out, so that's good. And now I want to take that to, let's get the EP out. I think that's a good goal to have. And so I've moved to Sydney, which is good because I come back to Canberra a lot, so I don't think I've really lost the music scene here, and I think I still make like a lot of use of it. But I do want to try and get my foot in the door in Sydney in some capacity, of just finding audiences there and finding like band members and people to collaborate with there as well. yeah, but I think big goal at the moment is get a gig in Sydney in some way and also release an EP. So I'm working on those.
If you could talk to yourself, who she was, where she fit in the world, what would you say to that person? What would you say to that kid?
The people around you matter and will make your experience so much easier. So make the most of their experience and their love for you. And just like enjoy the process. I think there was a lot of time that I spent worrying about or thinking about the future, which is just like not helpful in that moment. So it's being able to enjoy the process, which I myself still have to work on, I think, and any artist would, being able to live in the moment and not think about the goals you have to come up, but actually just enjoy where you are now and celebrate where you are now. Yeah, so I think I would like tell my younger self, enjoy where you are now, but also there are people in your life that make this experience so much easier, and just to really value them and their time.
What would you say to other artists out there trying to find their way in the whole music sphere right now?
I acknowledge that it's a lot, and it's like a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation on yourself. But I think, one, make use of the people you have in your life. Make use of the talents you have and what you're capable of. Reach out to people, even if that means you won't get a reply, just do it anyway. And I think the main thing would be you need to stop caring about how it will be received, and just put your music out there. There's always merit in wanting it to be the best it possibly can be, but I think as soon as you start thinking about, oh, I want this many listeners, I want this many people showing up at a gig, you kind of lose sight of the fact that you're just making fantastic music and you're making yourself known, and you should just celebrate the fact that you've put your music into the space that you've looked up to this whole time, and now you're there and you've got your music out there. Like, celebrate that fact. Yeah, that's what I would tell.
What's the most important lesson that you've learned as an artist?
There are so many good ones, but I feel like I can't get specific. I have to make it fairly broad. I think it is literally, I regret any point where I moved on too quickly from even a small success. Because if you're always focusing on becoming more and becoming bigger, you lose sight of yourself and of your music and of your creative process. You have to celebrate every small moment and actually appreciate what you've been able to do in that time. Like, literally just give yourself a moment to be proud of yourself. I think that is something that a lot of people forget because they always want to be bigger.
Okay. Thank you so much for
Thanks.
this, all your words and answering the questions. I've got one last question for you.
Okay.
Right? This is important.
I'm ready.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Who is Romilda?
Oh my god. Okay. This has been so hard. Whenever someone asks me for an artist bio, I'm like, I've got nothing. But I think one thing, the origin of the name, Romilda is my great-grandmother's name. And she was born in Italy and had 9 kids during the First and Second World Wars. And they all migrated here, and it was quite a process, but it's like appreciating the very, very strong women in my life. But I think me as a person, as an artist, it's just good music, a good time, and the truth about my life. I'm not holding anything back. And if you relate to the music in any way, that's the point. Yeah, that's what I got.